Some of you may already know that I'm not a huge fan of Christmas carols. I know that probably the only reason that you are here is because you like them. That's why you're watching, and that's fine, it's wonderful. But I'm not a big fan of them. What I do really like is Christmas adverts. At Christmas, some of our shops go out of their way to remind us that Christmas is not just about buying stuff, though they won't object if we do buy stuff from them, but that there is a deeper meaning to Christmas time. And these days, for many of us, we know that the Christmas season has begun. We know that it's nearly time for Christmas when we see the John Lewis advert for the first time. And this year, alongside their advert, John Lewis have said this. They've said, "We believe that the world would be a better place if we all gave a little more love. So this year we're celebrating kindness, whether large or small, showing how each and every act of love has a positive impact on the world around us as we pass them on to others." Which is lovely, isn't it? John Lewis are trying to encourage us to give a little more love. And I'm sure they'd be delighted if the way in which we show a little more love to each other is to buy John Lewis goods and services. But I think what they're doing is that they are tapping in to something that we all seem to understand about Christmas. Something that we know that amidst the food and presents, in the middle of trying to negotiate your Christmas bubble, among the arguments and stresses, Christmas is about more than just buying stuff and eating too much. As in the advert, the little girl helps the boy get his football, as the snowman helps repair the car, as the pigeons let the hedgehog fly with them. Celeste sings her song. Wouldn't it be wonderful, she sings, if everyone gave a little love? And I think that we've seen this over the last year or so. By and large, this year has been pretty gloomy. Our world has suffered from a pandemic that has left us confined to our homes, restricted our movement. It has brought sickness and death. It's caused job losses and increased mental health problems. It has brought with it no end of worry. We worry for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our neighbours. But it has also brought out the best in many of us. It's encouraged us to give a little love. We've seen a 99-year-old man raise more than £35 million for the NHS by walking around his garden. We've seen a young Premiership footballer lead a campaign to make sure that the most vulnerable children in our nation have at least one good meal each day. We have seen thousands of people help their neighbours by shopping for them, picking up prescriptions for them, making sure they are safe. The pandemic has given us an opportunity to care for each other, to love each other a little more, and that has been wonderful. But it's also been hard. We've had a difficult year, we've had a dark year, we've had a troublesome year. Many of us have struggled. We are struggling. We will continue to struggle. But as we think about Christmas today, I want to remind you of the reason that all of our shops bring out adverts about love and family at this time. The reason that they use these stories of people caring for one another in order to sell us stuff. It starts more than 2,000 years ago. It starts with God giving a gift to us, a gift of love. Mary and Joseph and shepherds and angels and wise men and Herod. In the Bible, we have 4 accounts of Jesus' life: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They all wrote down the things that Jesus did and said. They wrote down the ones they found most important. And when John tells us about this gift of love, John doesn't mention the shepherds in their fields or the wise men following the star. When John tells us about God himself being born as a human child named Jesus, John says this: In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming to the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. John calls Jesus the Word. He compares him to a light shining in darkness. Imagine for me, with me, a moment that you are stranded in a dark cave. You don't know how you got there. You don't know how you're going to get out. You cannot see or hear anyone, and you begin to despair. How will you find your way back? Are you going to remain in this cave forever? You are scared, frightened, not knowing what will happen to you, worried about what might. And then you hear a sound, voices calling your name. As you look around, you see a light growing larger. How do you feel? Relief, joy, hope. Hope, because where before you had no way out, now there is a possibility of salvation. Hope, because you can begin to believe that the difficult place you are in now is only temporary. Hope, because there is now a future laid out before you where things will get better. Some of us have begun to feel that hope amidst the hardship of the last year. A vaccine is coming which may pave the way for a future which is better than our struggles today. That vaccine is like a gift of love, a light in the darkness. It's not a magic spell. It's not going to make everything better in an instant, but it is the gift of a promise that soon we might be able to begin to rebuild. That rather than getting worse, things might start to get better. This light in the darkness, this gift of a hope for a better future, being saved from the gloom of today, is exactly the sort of gift that Jesus was when he was born to Mary in that place that normally housed the animals all those years ago. Jesus was and is a gift of hope. The Bible makes it clear that, like being trapped in a cave, we've all made mistakes. We've chosen to do things which hurt ourselves and others, to do things which hurt God. And in order to set things right, in order to make a way for our relationships to be restored, we were given the gift of Jesus, so that, as John's Gospel puts it, to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. The John Lewis advert taps right into what Christmas is all about. What it has always been all about since that little baby was laid in a manger. It's about a gift of love. The love of God stretching down from heaven to draw us closer to him. To give hope that tomorrow will be better than today. To bring a light into the darkest places of this world and of our lives. That song from the advert, the chorus, the repeated refrain in it is, if I give this gift to you, wouldn't everybody get a little love? And that's God's intention in Jesus, to give us a gift through which everybody can get love, can know love, can be loved. Here is a gift for you. a gift of love. Are you ready to accept it? And if you are, or if you have, if you already know the love that first came at Christmas, I wonder how you might share that love with others this Christmas time. How can you give a little love?